So this is the HW35 1987 177. I do like it, but for some unknown reason, it's got a really nice smooth cocking action. It's not gritty, not graunchy, not anything. But when you pull the trigger, the knife let off with a little crack. Old Kevin over at Pellets and Pistons Airgun, he mentioned it the other day actually, and it's nice that someone else has noted it as well, rather than it being whisper quiet, because obviously everything else about the cocking action is really, really nice. So what I want to do, it's obviously had various iterations of mainsprings, and I can't remember which one's in this at the minute. It might just be the original stock one that I bought and put back in there. I want to do a little bit of work to it. Tiny little rust patch there that I want to rub down and re-blue. Just give it a nice good oiling and greasing before I put it back together again. What this is going to be about is that, like the HW97, I've got a Vortek kit for it. So like I mentioned in the previous video, the top hat is actually snug and fitted, so there's no movement. This goes inside the piston sleeve, and this is the exposed spring. Because there's no movement, there's no vibration, and it did really cut it down on the HW97. So what I'm going to do is take this out, give it a bit of a clean up, and insert the Vortek kit and see what's what. So this is I'm pretty sure this is a old Weihrauch spring as opposed to the new Weihrauch spring, because after a certain time they obviously changed the internal diameter, and this one's slightly narrower, but it's a thicker gauge compared to the newer one, which is slightly longer and slightly thinner, I think. I can't remember. I've done God knows how many videos on them in the past, or just moaned about them. So this is the Vortek one when you compare it. So this has actually got a couple of shims in it that I put in there. So this has got a metal spring guide from TR Rob. A couple of little power washers in there to try and boost it up a little bit. So all in all, it's probably not too far off the original length. There is a top hat that goes with this metal spring guide, and I think that's going to be the problem, because it is wedged right in there. So what I'm going to have to do is try and take the piston seal off, degrease it, heat it, do whatever to try and knock that out, because otherwise that isn't going to sit over that. So that's the first job of the day, is to try and get that little top hat out of the piston. Wish me luck. Yeah, it's not perfect by any means. The rust patch is gone, so just put a bit of oil on it. It needs to be degreased again, so I can always see about maybe topping it up a little bit, but yeah, we'll see what it's like out in the daylight. But yeah, the rust patch is gone. We'll go from there. And then obviously where it's just rubbing on the underside, it's been treated as well. So yeah, it will do. So what I'm going to do with the piston, as I say, I need to try and get that top hat out. But first of all, I need to take the piston sleeve, what is this? Piston seal off. Just a bit greasy with some molly. Obviously must have been a bit of dirt, God knows what else in the cylinder when I put it back in. So to get it off, put it in a cup, boiling water. hoping that that will help expand the metal as well. And, take the seal off, and then I can start hitting the top, and hopefully that's jiggled off the top out. Boom. So this is really hot. So yeah, soaked in some hot water just to try and expand things, loosen up some of the grease that's in there. I'm just giving it a tap tap. And no, I can't hold that. And there's the top hat. So we'll give this a bit of a clean on the inside once it's cool, because I can't actually touch that. And then we can see about putting the Vortek kit in. This is how the kit goes together. So the top hat and the dowel ring goes at the top. And then this part, there's no piston sleeve, although I do have one I could put back in there, but I think that'll make that a little bit too tight and that'll catch. And then this bit covers the exposed spring, which stops the twang and vibrations. So yeah, I think when you compare it to the old one, yeah, it's pretty much the same length, so it's not going to change the power too much. If anything, maybe a smidge longer. But yeah, right, just need to clean up the action, and then we can see about lubing this up and putting it back in. Right, so it's cleaned out. Let's see about trying to do the reassembling. Right, so the piston's lubed up at the bottom, around the head there, but not on the top of the piston seal. And then what we'll do, rather than using moly, actually I just used the grease that was in there, so we shall see. The Vortek kit's well and truly lubed up, looks like jam. So that then slides over the piston. And we just need to see about trying to snug that up a little bit. We can start trying to put everything else back together again. So, very much like the HW97, managed to actually push down on the table, and second or third time managed to get it engaged without the need of a clamp. So what I will do, because I need to obviously line the cocking shoe in with the bit in the piston, I'm going to put the front end on. Right, so cocking shoes in, the slot the piston, the detent release is on the right way around. It didn't look right, I don't know why. Anyway, yeah, so that's in, shim's in, it's lined up. So now what I need to do is put the bolt in from the left hand side and secure that on the right hand side. Right. See about getting the trigger in, and we're done. Right, so the record trigger, when it goes back in, has to go in cocked, otherwise it's in the wrong alignment, and when you go to cock the rifle it won't engage the sear. So just push down on the top sear and it engages, and obviously when you then pull the trigger, it's first stage, that's your trigger weight, pull weight, second stage. Really nice crisp. So what I need to do is just recock it and then put it back. So the safety and its spring goes in first. There you go. You just need to make sure that's in the correct position, so when you put the line up the little holes, everything's all lined up. So big pin goes at the front, short pin goes at the back. Right, let's take my glass off for that bit because I can't bloody see. Right, so front pin, rear pin's in, safety catch is in, it's cocked, it should fire. So now we're all in the correct alignment. So what I need to do is just tap these in flush and then put the stock back on. Again, being really careful with the record trigger that that little nut stays in place, because that's for the rear trigger guard screw. There you go, so it's all back together again. Still nice and smooth to cock. And I've decided to mount the little infrared red dot because I think I need to get some new scope mounts for that other scope. I think that might be why it started wandering. I do want to get a diopter for this and maybe just use it with open sights, just as something slightly different as opposed to the other rifles that I've got. But yeah, so it's all back together again. So I do need to put some pellets through it. I don't think it's increased the power, but it will need to be chronoed at some stage once it's broken in. But all in all, it's probably the most easiest dismantling and reassembly that I've had of this rifle so far. Fingers crossed it doesn't have to come apart again. So next videos will hopefully be a bit shooting, but I can't do it at the minute because he's absolutely tipping it down. So yeah, HW35 with a Vortek kit.